Honorable Gacho, please do come.
Yes, hey, comrades.
Honorable members.
Honorable members, Honorable Anati is raising a serious concern of eloping, yabo, because from here, I think next week I have election. Yeah, we have to lobby those honorable members of IF, and it would give us advantage if we have Dr. Mandashe here. If we have Dr. Mandashe as he forms part of that committee. One thing engafuni sizibethe ngayo is that if we had listened na kwi presentation yakhe izolo, he emphasized the issue of lobbying, that we cannot reach where we want to be if we are not content in terms of lobbying. And it's going to be difficult for us if we are to say, sesinaye ngoku udokotela sithi sizayo mlobhisha outside or enclosed parameters, whereas we have an opportunity to express ourselves explicitly in his presence, so that when we go out of this place, naye uzawukwazi uba able to take the exco of the ISGC and say, kweza submissions benizenza yabona pha kwe-council ningakwazi ukuya ngoluhlobo nangoluhlobo nohlobo nohlobo, and advise on the honorable members that also stay on the council, that make it a point that when you present this thing with council, olu hlobo bebenibeka ngalo, it was raw, but use this method in that. Nabe ndivumela ndiyayilisa le proposal honorable member.
Thank you. Honorable Member Sokone.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker of Parliament. Based on the proposal that is raised by Honorable Ngulaja, so kala ngelithi kula proposal, what I have checked in the council, because I've set a number of meetings in the council, is that prior into xa whatever that we have submitted, I will just because we are icacisa ngendlela icacisa ngayo, iwele just because ithini majority in the house in the council meeting. No, what I mean is that if Dr. Mandashe mhlawumbi asimlobhishanga kwa early ave our primary discussions, it will be complex for him to assist us in terms of also lobbying other members of the council to agree with our submissions. As we talk. So, honorable members, let us allow Dr. Mandashe to be part and parcel of this session. Honorable members, so that asincedise to also lobby other members. Sibe majority phaya xa sixoxela ngomhla ka-7 of October. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Asive.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think we are all on the same view here. So I won't be long with the preambles and stuff. So I will listen to the proposal. Dr. Mandashe.
Thank you, honorable members. I believe the House has taken a decision to let in Dr. Mandashe to come and form part of the observatory committee of this House. Could honorable member assist us in going to call and invite in Dr. Mandashe? Thank you so much. Honorable members, we are now going to proceed and start. I believe we've already started and been joined in, honorable members, by the student populace, which is live. I'd like to welcome them as well into this policy gathering and policy workshop and amendments of the Institutional Student General Council. Walter Sisulu students, Walter Sisulu alumni, you are welcome to this special gathering, this historic moment where leaders of SSU conclave and come to amend the institution and policies which speak to student life in general and holistically. You are welcome to this gathering. Your comments will be noted. please use a C for comments, capital letter C for comments, and also a Q for subsequent questions. Thank you so much. Now proceeding with the program of today, I welcome you again, honorable members, to this second session of the Institutional Student Council gathering of policy amendments and policy reviewal of the SRC Constitution and subsequent policies which accompany the SRC Constitution. Firstly, we are going to be having a recap of day one's event. If it was in a normal meeting, it would be reading of minutes. However, it is a recap of day one event, which will be done by the Deputy Speaker. Subsequently from that, we are going to go straight to plenaries, a paired document. Thank you so much. Honorable Deputy Speaker, please do come.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Okay, let me start off by greeting Advocate Dia and our observer, Miss Ngamlan, yes, and the honorable members at large. So to take a quick recap on what transpired yesterday, we were received by the Deputy Speaker, by the Institutional Student General Council Speaker, Honorable Member Ondela Jokati. Then the Speaker was giving a background on the purpose of the day, as to say we are here to amend policies that speak to African children. So as student leaders, we need to try our level best to ensure that whatever we amend or we propose here must be inclusive for all. Then the invocation was tendered by Mrs. Mbambani, a fruitful prayer indeed. Yeah, then we had a welcoming address by the DVC, institutional support, Dr. Jaga. I wrote a few notes on what he was saying. It's a summary of what he said yesterday. So it reads as follows. The development of policies must be driven by what we envisage as a university that is an African technology inclusive university, because policies are what shape the university. So those are the words that I took from the speech of the DVC institutional support. An introduction by the facilitator was tendered by Tata Senior SDP, or Ms. Khabaza, and our facilitator yesterday, of course, was Ms. Ngamlan, who's a social justice practitioner from Aphesis Coplan Corporate. I don't know how you call it. Then the principal of the university, the vice chancellor, Professor Songa, tendered her address as well. It was the most longest address, and I don't want to dwell much into what she said, but we were here, honorable members. Presentations were done by the Executive Director of Student Affairs, Dr. Mohasua. Even the DD cluster, DD Umamtsiki, also attended her presentation in reimagining student affairs implications for policy and practice. However, honorable members, upon request, all presentations that were shown in the slideshow will be given to honorable members of the House. Then Advocate Dia also provided his presentation, which was very fruitful, and I'm sure that it will guide the House as we amend or as we are about to deliberate on and amend these policies. Ugqirha uMandashe also tendered a fruitful presentation, which I want to believe that honorable members were listening to what Dr. Mandashe was saying, so that when we deliberate on these policies and when we discuss on these policies, we are guided and we are united, comrades, honorable members, sorry. We went to our second session of the day, which was campus policy inputs. Indeed, Buffalo City campus tendered their campus policy inputs, which were tendered by the Buffalo City campus Student General Council Secretary, Honorable Member Mvelo Abenda. I won't go into details as to which section, but I want to highlight the policies that were presented by BCC, because it so happens that policies were presented, but there are policies that are presented by other campuses that are not presented by other campuses. So for record keeping and to jog our memory, I'll just read out the policies that BCC tendered in their report. It's the SRC Constitution, then it was the policy on room allocation, sport policy, sexual harassment policy, the campus health services policy, student counseling policy, alcohol and drug abuse policy. Then there were recommendations or proposals from the campus. They proposed that we must have a policy for the people in the LGBTQI community that seeks to create an environment that is anti-transphobia and homophobic in our university. And a laptop policy as well. It was proposed by Buffalo City campus. Moving forward, honorable members, BCC further tendered their submissions of the supply chain management policy. And that was the last policy for BCC. Because we agreed that we are using alphabetical order of campuses, Butterworth was next. Their submissions was tendered by the Butterworth campus Student General Council Speaker in the absence of the Secretary, Honorable Member Sandy Sombeu. Sandile, yes, sorry, leadership. The policies that were presented by Butterworth campus are as follows. The campus health and safety procedure policy. They also had utterances. I want to highlight this one because it's the same as that one that was proposed by Buffalo City campus, but in their instance, it's not a policy, but it was a clause of inclusiveness of the LGBTQI plus community. They also deliberated, they also attended their report, on pregnancy policy, sexual harassment policy, and gender-based violence policy. That's one policy. Then the student counseling policy, sport policy, residence policy, and lastly, the SRC constitution. Yes. So we went to the main campus. Tata. The report was tendered by sorry, just a few this thing of technology. Yeah, it was tendered by the Student General Council Secretary, Honorable Member Yamkela Gajo. The policies that honorable members from Tata tendered their inputs was the room allocation policy, WUSU health services policy, the addendum of the SRC, constitution, of course, yes. Then the developmental policy, then the SRC constitution, then disability policy, sport policy, alcohol and drug abuse policy, infection control policy, policy on student pregnancy, pharmaceutical policy, and I want to believe that this is the second, if not last. It was it's the SRC constitution, then the residence policy. Then for Queenstown, tables 10. It was a very unsimilar approach as to the ones that previous campuses used. So I can't really point out which policies exactly, because it's not the very same way that we were, other campuses were doing it. But I managed to jot down some few notes. I think it will also jog our memories, the house. Yeah. There was a request that there must be a backup power in each student residence. I think it goes to residence policy. And this thing of supplementary results in terms of allocation must be considered. I think it also goes to residence policy, and even this one, that self-funded students must pay 25% of their loan. It's the issue of certificates. I can't really locate the actual policy. Then I think this one must be the most burning issue, that landlords must respect students' privacy. I think it all goes back to the residence policy. So I think basically it was residence policy. And the last policy was this one of alcohol and drug abuse policy. Comrades had, or honorable members had a submission that alcohol must be consumed in the residences of the university. That was their submission, as to say home that is far away from home. I think from my side, Honorable Speaker, I've covered everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. These were indeed peculiar submissions from the various campuses, as well as inputs from yesterday's sitting by Doc Mandashe and our facilitator and advocate Tia. Now moving forward with the program, we are due to begin a plenary session. We are due to begin a plenary session which will rigorously discuss and engage the submissions, as well as to begin the process of also consolidating similar views per policy. So the first policy we are going to be in a plenary session of, which would last for an hour, is the residence policy. We are going to begin a plenary session. However, as per yesterday's resolution, was that each honorable member of the House will get the submissions of the canvas, of every canvas, so that everyone has information on hand when discussions and engagements begin. However, our scribe, also Deputy Speaker, will send them to all of the honorable members' email addresses that are present here now. So if you've signed the register, we are in a process of sending the submissions of the canvases. All right. We have another view here. We are clarifier Deputy Speaker uthi uzazithumela ko speaker be canvas, the no speaker be canvas bazisharishe ke ngoku as views on WhatsApp platform, so that it can be easier than email, because we are complaining about the issue of handwriting in collecting these email addresses. Some comrades, some honorable members' handwriting is so fluent that it's not visible to the common eye. Honorable members, so in allowing time for such, we are going to begin the plenary session. Allow me to stand. Now, for the plenary session, we are all expected to have discussions on these policies and submit our different perspectives. Now, honorable members, when coming to submit a view, you will stand here on the mic that is here, so that the audience that is watching via live or virtual platforms could also see you and hear you as well, because our technical team is having problems capturing, because abanye bahlele koneni, abanye bakude. So in the interest of everyone, babonwe, baviwe as well. To begin this plenary session, allow me a moment. Deputy Speaker will commence by sending everyone. I believe he did recap on the submissions of per canvas, so there would not be a need to individually recap, or I'll put it to the House, would there be a need to individually recap as per police? So, ba ukomanu uthini nge residence, ba EPCC ithini nge residence, or would you rather have it that we just siqhube per memory? I'm putting it to the House. I'm noting hands. 1, 2, 3. Honorable Ziba, Honorable Kaju, Honorable Sbu. Could you please come to the front mic podium?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I am Premier of Butterworth Campus. I would just like to submit that I have sensed that there is a bit of a contradiction of some sort or different views. So if we are then saying we then do it by memory, maybe we might have a problem. I would then like the policies to be outlined to say that the submissions must be captured per campus so that we get the context, because assuming what they are saying will then mislead us. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Kaju. Honorable Sbu. All right, so we are going to have it per campus, as if I capture you, Honorable Ziba, that as per campus to capture their perspectives. All right, then allow me to request then a representative of the campus, SGC, the speakers, to present the narrative or perspective of that particular campus with this residence policy in regards to the residence policy, as to kick off this plenary on residence. Kukalu spot? Sorry. Sport policy. Residence. It's residence. The House, honorable members, allow me to guide the House. We are beginning with the residence police. Thank you. Your hands are noted. Please come. Please do come forward, Honorable Mevane.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We're raising on a request. Apparently now there are two programs that we're having. Ours is different from what we're having on this side. Can we have the same one if it's possible? But now our AA to call it that we're going to have sport first, but the one we're having, which we say that is resolved. I think if it's possible, that just I can have that one as well if you're not using it. Thank you. I think I'm covered.
Honorable Mevane, I believe you are next. All right, we are proceeding. And allow me to remind you, honorable members, please, when there's a speaker on the floor, please allow the speaker time to articulate. You don't speak whilst the speaker is speaking. That is disorder of the highest form and disrespect to the House and to our online viewers. Thank you so much. We are beginning with residence police. I don't see the Secretary of Buffalo City Campus, SGC. Honorable Mevan, are you going to represent Buffalo City? All right, we are then beginning as per alphabetical order. You are noted. Please do come.
I'm raising on a proposal, Honorable Speaker. Would it be possible that we not only say that the speaker about the secretary of that particular campus come and deal with the issues? If it's possible that the speaker or a particular member of that particular campus wants to add something. Now it's like saying that God will come and redo what you did yesterday. If I feel as speaker of that particular campus, there is something else which I need that I have to add on that particular. We not say that it's for God, but we say that it's a particular campus. That's what I'm requesting to you, to the House actually.
Thank you. Let me maybe clarify. When Honorable Kaju, please refrain from speaking whilst I'm speaking. This is going as per rules of the House. Honorable Gachu, please do not continue speaking. Thank you so much. Now, Honorable Sbu, in what you have raised, if you had received well the direction to the House that was presented by Honorable Ziba, which is to say we want to capture a campus's perspective. So if you as the SGC representatives of that particular campus feel that there's a secretary or you want to present it yourself as a speaker or you want to do it duly. But I was referencing in the case of Buffalo City because I only see one member of the SGC one member of the SGC president of Buffalo City, which would be Comrade Mevan or as well as Comrade Mangisa. Sorry, Honorable Members Mangisa. My apologies rather. So Honorable Velo Apenda, for some reason, did not show up, but he will be present tomorrow. So I'm moving forward. Honorable Mevan, can you please come?
Good day, comrades.
Honorable members, honorable members, honorable members.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you for protecting me. Speaker, I won't waste any time. I'll just go through for Buffalo City campus on room allocation, meaning residence. So I'll just go through it because yesterday Comrade Umvelo did read them out, and today is just that because we're on plenary. And he did apologize because tomorrow is writing a test, hence he's not here. So that I would like to clarify that she's studying because tomorrow is writing. So, comrades, I'll just go straight into it. The first one is on procedure. I will just read it out as follows. The university with its on-campus accommodation shall allocate 10% of its rooms to unfunded students. And it shall be 5% for off-campus accommodations. That's the first submission that we had. And we have another one that's saying residence allocation process. Self-allocation process must be added in this document. That's another submission that I can, when it comes to self-allocation that BCC is making. On 1.6, it says that, okay, students are to vacate their rooms at the end of each semester on and off campus residences accredited accommodation on will, meaning that it mustn't be a force during the years for students to be chased out even though they have been paying fully for that month. Okay. Policy, content, and guiding principles. Then goes on, okay, so that's section 6 on policy, content, and guiding principles. So we have that section 12 saying that, okay, students must be expected to leave the rooms after 72 hours of their last exam paper. Okay, going to 13, student registered in an academic program that spills over to the next year must be accommodated in the residence on condition that the additional month are deducted on the student's statement. 14, students must return keys to the residence office when they vacate the rooms at the end of the academic year. Failure to do so will result into a fine of 100 rands debited to their student fee accounts. Then 15, students who transgress residence rules and regulations will not be considered for a room allocation on that residence again. After a single written warning, depending on the nature of the transgression, after a great deal of assessment by the SRC and resident officers, including JRC. 16, each campus deputy director SDSS shall be allocated 30 beds to cater for special cases that may not be catered for above. 17, senior students or postgrads who have participated in the institutional leadership programs can apply to be residents live-in wardens. And lastly, all residents with more than 50 students must be a resident. All residences with more than 50 students must have a residence warden, senior student or postgrad students live-in wardens. Speaker, those are the submissions that BCC has made when it comes to the res allocation or residence policy. So, thank you, Speaker.
All right, thank you so much. I believe there are comments from our online viewers in which Deputy Speaker has requested to read them as well.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We have a comment, honorable members, from Luciba Sobetwa. I'm not sure about the gender, so I'll just say the comment reads as follows. The submission of alcohol being consumed inside the university premises seems to be only taken into consideration by those who consume alcohol and is inconsiderate of those who do not. Remember, the university's primary goal are academics. Now, imagine a situation where others are drinking and are making drunk noise, whilst the other ones are busy preparing for tests.
Thank you so much. Remember, thank you, honorable members. To our online viewers, keep on commenting. Your comments are much more valued. Keep on commenting on the submissions, and we'll keep on submitting your submissions to the House. Thank you so much for participating. Honorable member, before I move to engagements, should we move? I'm putting a motion to the House so that, honorable member, please, no, honorable member, you raise your hand, I note you, you come here. Please do come here and submit.
Thank you, Speaker. I have a proposal. My proposal to just ukuzama ukulungisa ixesha, because le mic ukusuka apha usuka pha izawutya nexesha ne. And then how about to take this mic, then give us this one? That's my proposal. Thank
you. Just to inform you, honorable member, Speaker of Komane Kambas, the setup we have here was a setup requested by the technical team, which is handling our audio visuals. And the House then subsequently agreed, you must have not been present in that gathering that led to the House agreeing. We are moving forward. I was going to put a motion to the House of engagements on Buffalo City, or should we rather engage at the end? All right. I see your hand, honorable member. Eric, please do come forward. Honorable Mevan, I see your hand as well.
Thanks very much, Honorable Speaker. I think let us allow campuses to present, then we'll take note, and then after they have presented, we'll then engage. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Honorable Mevan. All right, we are proceeding to the next campus. The order will be that how we will do it is that each campus will present. Thereafter, there are 4 presentations. We will then go to discussions and engagements. I believe the next campus would be Ibika campus. Okay. And honorable members, for the sake of our online viewers, could you please state your name and surname prior to when you are beginning?
Thanks, Speaker. Igama lami Sandile, ifana Mndungumbiyo. Mine is simplest forward is to outline the issue of residence policy and the submission of Barawet. It's simple as follows. We are saying as Barawet, the allocation of the residences must be done, or the residences must be classified as per gradings as. Or remember, if grading that is A, B, and C, you understand? So in whatever that is happening within there must be grading, and the gradings must not be grading just for sake of grading. Must be the grading that simple as states exactly nalende pangaphakathi residences. Number 2, the inspection of residences. What we have seen is that all landlord bayabolekana the facilities zangaphakathi ezindlini, you understand? Then umuntu agradwe kubi kanti in terms of the facilities that he has or she had ngaphakathi zezigasi, you understand? So we're saying inspection must be done quarterly so that it will monitor the standard of the residences and the inspection, also the gradings. Number 3, as I've said, as WSU, they invest in diverse university inclusive of the LGBTQI plus community. So in terms of residences must be also the special arrangement for those who are belonging to the community of LGBTQI plus. Because ungandibona ndingusandile as he, and in terms of identification as my sexuality, ndingushi, I might not be comfortable ngokuhlala kwi-res specifically yabantu abango bhuti. So I'm saying that there must be an arrangement of some sort in the residences in terms of the police. Also, the outcry of the residences, the inside residences, not all of it, but maybe the 20% portion, also the 10% portion, must be given to the unfunded student, you understand? So that in a moving forward run, singabina strikes, needs and other stuff must be allocated, but care also with an agreement in that in the future, how do you pay? As for now, I think I've done. If ever there's something that I've left off, Econom Tabas of London, and Kosi Speaker, and also the House.
Thank you so much, Speaker of Butterworth Campus, Honorable Member. We are moving to Mtata Campus now. Can I have the representatives who are honorable members from Tata Campus? Tata Campus, please do come forward.
Thank you, Speaker. So yesterday, on this policy, we said the submission that we're making. Last time when we were on campus, so there were these policies. So this one, it tightly room allocation. So we said from the title shall be room allocation for also students. That is what we said. Then on 6.5, disabled students must be catered for and be prioritized based on their disability and availability of funds. 6.1.7. Students must be allowed to self-allocate themselves using whose enable system, a system that must allow a student reserve a room of his or her choice from an accredited residence of choice. The self-allocation must be applicable to both on-campus and privately owned institutions. Then 6.1.9, returning students, yeah. Students must obtain an average of 60% for all modules registered for to qualify for a single room, and 50 to 59% for double room. In an event such percentages do not fill residencies must be considered based on their funding. Students repeating any level of study must be allocated according to the availability of funds. Any point 40 kwakhona pa ku 6.1.9. Both main examination and sub-examination must be considered for residence allocation process as the above mentioned result constitute one's academic year. Then students must be permitted to reside in residences until the completion of their program of study based on the funding eligibility. So basically, if umuntu xa funded, it must be allocated in most of these points that we noted here. There must be no issue. If someone is funded, it must be allocated. Then 6.1.11, we said students who only register for 2 or less modules must be considered for allocation both on and off-campus residencies if they are funded but still in progress of completing their program of study. 6.1.12. Students are to vacate their rooms at the end of each semester in or off campus with accredited accommodation. International supplementary exam listed students and postgraduate students must be allowed to stay on, subject to request on that being approved by the Deputy Director of Student Affairs. Such student may be allocated to designated residences during university downtime periods to allow for routine maintenance. That is what we said on international students. Kule policy le xa besijonga uba singayenza njani ba if beyilento esirhalela beyiyo. 6.1.13. Students registered in academic programs that overlap to the next year must be allocated to designated residences for completion of the academic year. Again, we said students must return keys to the residence officer when they vacate the rooms at the end of each semester. Failure to do so will result to a fine debited to their student fees account debited. Should students be allocated to a room without a door lock, such students must be given 500 to insert his or her lock. Should students buy their own locks, such students' slips or invoices to claim the money used for installation. So, this issue of lock, it clear nje because ngeke ngihlale endlini ngekho lock. So kufuneka uthi ungena bese ikhona lock. If ayikho, then you must be given that amount a lock. Then on the issue comments, engathi comments zingaba aligned nalento esikuyo. Now to see comment online ithetha ngo policy and drug.
Honorable member, please stick to what you are presenting. Indeed, we are seeing comments from our online populists. Thank you so much for your comments. Your comments will be clubbed in when we are having engagements, clarities, and discussions as well. So keep your comments going. Honorable members, we are moving to Komani campus. Very peculiar campus. can we, a very dynamic campus, can we have representatives from Ekomani campus coming forward? Honorable members, sorry, let me protect you, honorable members. Just I plead to you to have order. I don't appreciate the House laughing when we are speaking of Komani campus, a dignified campus. Honorable member representing Ikomani, could you please begin your presentation on residence leadership?
Okay, thank you, Speaker. Igama lam nguKhanya wakwaThwangu, surname. On e-residence policy, yeah, we did submissions as a common campus. Our submissions, the first submission was that the supplemental results must be considered on the basis that our students, if you struggled to get that 50% for Ilandozana for you to be allocated whilst you were allocated in the residence, and then meaning if the supplemental results are not considered, it will be much difficult for you to maintain that 50% which is needed for you to be allocated. The second submission was that self-funded students must pay at least 25% of their debt quarterly if that student needs to be allocated, because what we've noticed on the constitution on the residence policy is that they say self-funded students must pay 30% of their debt during registration, and at the beginning of second semester, that student must pay 70%. Honorable members of the Parliament, we cannot run away from the fact that as the student of WSU, we are the black and marginalized children. So we cannot afford to have that 70% at once at the beginning of second semester. So at least the debt must be paid quarterly, meaning you pay 25% of your loan or your debt as per charged on the residence that you are allocated on. The next submission that we made was that the duration for students to claim their spaces must be at least 7 days, not that one that they are written on the residence allocation policy. The next submission was that there should be a backup power in each and every residence. Remember, in Komani, our residences are outsourced residences, so they are privately owned by a number of landlords. So we don't have the on-camp residences. Hence, we are asking that at least it must be on the policy that a landlord must have a backup power, because once the electricity is gone, meaning students will not have the access to. They will not have the access to study or to cook or to light in residences, because some of the landlords do not have the backup system. Hence, we are asking that it must be on the policy, because when you are trying to fight this issue or to consult landlords, they come with a policy and say that it is not written here that I must have a landlord's a backup system. So we are asking that at least it must be on the policy of residents that they must have the backup systems. The next submission was that students who are writing supplementary must be allowed to go back to their previous residences. at the beginning of the year or at the beginning of the semester, because the challenge that we have in Komani, landlords, they do not want us to go back to the residences that we were allocated on when we go back to write our supplementaries, you know. So we asked that we must be allowed, because you were allocated on that residence, and then you come back to write a supplementary, which is the part and parcel of your previous year academic. So at least we must be allowed to enter the residence that we were allocated on. The next submission was that landlords, since our residences are privately owned, as I've said, so we have a number of landlords. We don't have the on-camp residence. So landlords sometimes can just pop up at the residence without noticing or updating student that he or she will come, or just bypass the residence. So at least they must respect the students' privacy, because the issue that we have is that when they are bypassing, or they come to the residence, they just want to enter every room and see what is happening inside the room, of which the room now is belonging to the allocated student. Without noticing, they just come in and want to enter the rooms. So at least they must respect the privacy of students. Our last submission before I land, Speaker, was that every registered F10 should be allocated without the consideration of the NSC results. Because once, we believe that once you entered the university systems, meaning that you are now qualifying to have a residence as a F10, then on your second year, that's when your results can be considered for you to be allocated. But when you are a first year, for the fact that you managed to enter the university system, you are free and allowed to landlords to be allocated without consideration of your matric results. Those are the submissions that we made as Komani campus under residence policy. Thank you, Speaker.
Indeed, very fruitful submissions from Komani campus and other campuses as well. Now, as promised, we are proceeding to discussions on the residence policy document. Can all hands, I've noted the hands, can you please proceed in an order of Honorable Sbu, Honorable Mangisa, Honorable Sbu, Honorable Mangisa, Honorable Eric, Honorable Biliat, Honorable Anati, Honorable Gachu, Honorable Asive, and Honorable Mevan, or Honorable Speaker of Ecoman. Could you please proceed in that order?
Thank you, honorable members. Just few comments that I want to clarify to this House. Let's start with the issue here. The issue with residencies has to do with maintenance. The maintenance is an issue. A student can go to maintenance to request a door lock, but it's going to take an entire month for that door lock to be fixed. That means the issue now to residencies has to do with maintenance. It has nothing to do with locks and anything, but it's maintenance issues. And we're having a residence office and the management which keep on increases the fees or residence fees, but without doing any revolution, without doing any maintenance. Or that what I'm trying to say is that if the institution wants to increase the fees, the res fees, the first thing they must do, they must maintain the residencies. I think it's within the people who are doing law will able to understand. When, as a landlord, you want to make an increment, first you do something. Here, a student, I thought when they were saying that we should return the keys every end of a year, the purpose behind that is so that they will be able, while we're at home, to renovate the residences. But to come back, the window is broken, but the window is still broken. The question, what is happening there? We have cockroaches there that can travel 50 kilometers a minute because of fulminate going. So I mean now the issue here has nothing to do, it's all about maintenance. Now, we're not going to whip here the manager, but the person who's failing us here, it goes to facilities. Those people are failing us as the students. So it means when you go to residences, when you go to Slimel, there's no television there. But we are told that a residence is a social place, but there's no television. You have to go to Pulo to watch television, and that those guys in Pulo, I won't go deep. Secondly, when we talk, I think this thing, guys, was shook up. When we talk about the people who think that I'm a female, but I'm not a female. We cannot reduce it to a level of saying that ufuna allocate to another. You can't do that. It's that the moment someone said that ufuna mqalathini declare okay, ndingusibumna andiziboni ndingusibusiso, ndizibona ndingunosibusiso. Then that way uzokwazi ba no res, akwazi ba andilungiselele. Now it brings back to the question ethi ke ngoku. The treatment ayiqali ko residences, iqala kuthi. Xa umuntu guys ethi ugay ayithethi uyakufuna hayi oyo type yakhe yinto ayiyo yena. Now when I'm going to say ke ngoku I cannot be allocated nabani, it means as a student I'm failing a senior student. So I wanted to add another thing in the police. Oh, okay, sorry, leadership. I want to add another thing on the police. It rule payana. Once a student siyafayinwa i-500 is there on the police. Nathi ke mas edini la police ethi ukuba ndizilungisele nami mandinikwe phela la mali back ibuyele kum la mali. Now the question will begin ngoku ibuyela kum as isikolo sifuna ukubhatala, ibuyela kum ibhatalwe mna or else iya kusikoliti samna. If ndiyakweleta mayingene kusikoliti sam, but if andikoloti mayibuyele kum la mali because ibhatalwe ndimo segqibeleni. Mna xa ndiyene invoice dayike Mr Zekane nantsi ndizilungisele isitixo ngokwami mandinikwe imali am back. After when we talk of a wife, akunyanzelekanga as a student when allocated a room uhambe uyofundela library if iwifi endlini yakho right. Apha starting rationalization that ifuna sifunde sizeziclasses ezindlini zethu as-attend, but i-Wi-Fi system yethu ayikho right. Ube no-IT ozophela after 5 days athi was still sayilungisa problem. Kukuthini ukulungisa? Ulungisa must have limitations now. Ukulungisa must not take more than 2 days. Ukulungisa oko not uqala phansi usaka when you are building something new, but ukulungisa into ebeyikhona i-right ka ayisekho right uyalungisa ke ngoku. At least management must give us that clarity there ba simuva njani. There is an issue, that a pending issue up of ba i-residences zethu as when you go to toilets ayikho laa nto yobana if a female siyabagxeka side bangamaxeleki, but ila box ingekho people who knows bazoyibiza ngegama lawo ke la box ayikho la box. Thank you. Ayikho la box. A student is forced ke ngoba makalahle apha phansi. Now umuntu wenza the situation to be unfair to the student. Side sibelixele student i-management because ayiprovidanga that thing. Here we are told that a student sibhatala from January to December, but we are told that must phume ecampusini thina on November. I'm saying now mna up until students complete lo nyaka waso singaphuma ku-residence. Ithetha uthini loo nto? You are having people abahlala ko-Tanzania, people who are staying in Botswana. Ukwenza i-visa, I take 2 days that thing. It takes time. You have to prepare, ubhuke i-flight uthini. But I'm told xa ndigqiba namhlanje mandiphume ngomso ayenzi sense loo nto. I must give a reasonable time to vacate. Masibe ngolo hlobo sithi reasonable time to vacate. Singabekini ixesha nasuku sithi reasonable time to vacate. Bazogqibezela ezinikokheli. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mangisa.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, I won't be long. This thing is tall, man. I won't be long, Nem. Now I just need a few clarities and perhaps I might add something. On the issue of the residence classification, or rather, for LGBTQIA, because I want to ask, because I think it was not as much as extensive as I would have expected it to be when it was presented. I want to ask, do we say that as students of LGBTQIA must be separated and set aside from other groups of students, like to say babene residence yabo bodwa, or within a normal residence but babene designated space sabo? And as a follow-up, I would ask, have we visited the sensitivity of the issue? Because in the process of saying you are segregating Ubathandwa because he is pink amongst black students, it would mean that at some point it has an element of offense. So I just wanted to check, Bana Mhlawumbi, do we say we segregate them totally, babene residence yabo, or we say within a group of students that are black, we take away the pink to stay in a certain corner? Secondary, the issue of 500 rands being given to students when befika rooms zingena logs. Comrades, honorable members, sorry, thank you, Speaker. Each and every year, residences are monitored, residences are inspected. It's very much rare to find out that sizawufika residences zethu zikweso standard of maintenance. I would say the issue of if 500 rands being given on a student, there's never been a case whereby you'd find out a student is maintaining a residence. But one thing that we need to endorse is that we must promote thorough inspections and monitoring of residences. And secondary to that, if ever rooms are damaged, there must be a form of indemnity that a student is liable to, whereby if ever there's out in the figure, if yam yophukile, I charge on my indemnity, and whenever the puma go residence yam dibending a damage angando errors, then that money is taken back to my account. Then we say that amount of, it used to be 800 indemnity. Ne? Yeah, I think indemnity was something like that. We should be vocal on that issue of indemnity than saying there must be imali ezawuze esandleni sikabathandwa ukuba makahambe ayolungisa ucango. I'm not talking on maintenance. It is the duty of the lease agreement between the poser and the university that my room is up to standard. On the issue of students that are not funded, paying a percentage of 25%, I just want to understand the narrative of saying a student that does not have money must pay money. Yeah, perhaps, comrade, honorable members would extend that presentation. One submission, honorable members, is that the university, in line with its priority of distributing and issuing condoms with residences, in female residences, if you are writing scribe, besicela sanitary towel banks on one basis. Engaging on sexual activities is a choice, but going to routine periods for women, it's something that happens involuntarily. So it would assist us to develop female residences and to develop our institution if we say in each and every residence yamanina we have a bank of sanitary towels. It would assist us now with students that are not funded, because we receive cases each and every day whereby abanye abantwana do not even abanazo nenhloni zozozicela kuthi singabafana bakhasincede undithengele lento because zindiphelele. And some get subjected into rapes and being molested by Tina singabafana, because we take advantage of students that are needy. So I would like to have that submission by our residents, that can we have the sanitary towel banks, and the policy must be vocal on the issue of indemnity. I think this covers my apple kwangu.
Thank you, Honorable Mangisa. Your clarity has been noted. We'll take it thereafter. Honorable Eric, please do proceed.
Thanks very much, Speaker, for this opportunity. There is a lot, but then I will cover a few inputs. Firstly, I will start on this issue of LGBTQI+. That issue, comrades, is very, or that issue, honorable members, that issue, honorable members, is very sensitive and is very broad. But when we say,
as I was saying,
Oh, okay. Okay, before you continue, Honorable Eric, let me just brief the online viewers that we had technical glitches and we want to apologize. It was matters beyond our control. You can continue, Honorable Member Eric.
Thanks very much, Honorable Member. I was on this issue of LGBTQI+. I was saying that issue is very sensitive, comrades. Of course, when we say they must be considered, we are not trying to discriminate them, but we are making a point to ensure that they feel safe, they feel comfortable within us. For example, we understand there are issues when they are bullied by other people and whatsoever. So when we say residents must consider them, we're trying to say, no, I am Eric, I do not feel safe to be allocated with Honorable Member Asipe because of A and B. That's what we are trying to say. We are not saying we are trying to segregate them from other people is to say, no, when you belong here, then you must be allocated here. No, we are trying to recognize them as the society maybe in the past, they were not recognized. Then moving forward, on this issue of dialogues, we are saying, if I was allocated and then when I arrive, my room does not have a door lock, is not having a key, the same judgment, that is 500 rand that I'm being charged for not returning the key, must be given back to me, but with a reasonable time frame as to say, if I'm allocated today, give the university maybe 48 hours to say, must instill that door lock. Then after 48 hours, they must give back that 500 to me. Because at the end of the day, they will say, you have not returned the key, you have not whatsoever, but you will find out that you were allocated without the key. But then when the year ends, they will say, give back 500, of which I was not given the key at the beginning of the year. So this issue must start at the beginning of the year. I must be allocated and then give them a chance, maybe for 8 hours, to give me a key and install the door lock. And then if they fail to comply, that 500 must come to me. Then moving forward, I think this issue that is raised by comrades, honorable members from Komani of 7 days for claiming of rooms, it also delayed the process at the same time. We understand the registration for Walter Sisulu University, the institution, is always delaying. But then if you are saying I must be given 7 days to claim my room, I think we are also contradicting ourselves, because we are here for progress. If you want progress, again, when you give me 7 days to claim my room, I will relax. And then you have working 7 days and then find out that that person was not even interested for the room. You will find out after 7 days. So I think the time frame must be at least given maybe to 72 hours. Not that 7 days is too long. It will prolong the process, as we also understand that it's always delaying the issue of allocation and other registration processes. Then on the issue of 10% to unfunded students, I think that percentage is very small, or it's little. Let us find other alternative, is to say maybe in Tata campus you have an on-campus residences, at least there are so many of them. Then we can argue, as to say unfunded students, especially postgraduates, must be given at least a block to say they must be allocated here. Then in terms of debts and other things, the university will cover that, because we also recognize that within our midst is the university. There are students who are not funded, also especially the postgraduates. Then I agree with the issue of residence grading, is to say allocate to grade A and grade B. C&D must be off. And then in that residences, there are issues here. When you go for inspection, you will be shown a very beautiful B&B. That student will be allocated here. But when the actual allocation happens, that is when students move in, you will find out that they go to a residence that is in very bad conditions. So that issue must be monitored very clearly. It can't be that those landlords, they see an opportunity to just chow student money without a proper service. There is a lot that you can notice in those residences that are off campus. Also, the issue that was raised by Honorable Saita from Ibega, indeed, those landlords, they know each other. Even in terms of transport, you'll find out that I'm Eric, I own a residence, off-campus residence, but I don't have my own transport. I will engage with Honorable Asibes to say, in terms of transport, you will transport them. Then I will accommodate them. That is very out of order. If a landlord is ready to accommodate students, must be par in terms of service and everything. Must not say I will accommodate them. Then in terms of transport, I will take it to other person who is not going to account if the transport is not available. And again, the issue that was raised from Queenstown campus, the issue of F10s vis-a-vis NSC whatsoever, I think maybe it's something that's happening on their campus. They must fix that on the campus level. Moving forward, you see, comrades, in terms of room allocation, the university can say you will pay 24,000 for this room or for this residence. It costs 24,000. But when you enter the room, it's not equal to that 24,000. My point I'm trying to raise is that the room or the residence must be equal to that. You will find out that in a room, especially on campus residences at Tata campus, when you are allocated, you find out that there are no tiles. The door is broken. There is no Wi-Fi. There is no sponge. There is no bed and whatsoever. But you are expected as a student to cope in your academics in a very bad environment. And the money that is charged is very ridiculous. So as amending these policies, the money that is charged for that particular res must be equivalent to the service that you will find in that particular residence. Because you will find out that, expectedly so, even in that tick Tondon, you find out that when you arrive in your room, there must be a curtain, but out of 100% of, for example, in a Slimela residence, you'll find out that there is no room that you'll find with a curtain. No room, literal, no room. Also, when you get in that room, there are some other issues that are broken and they are not going to be fixed. As Honorable Sbu raised this issue, residents with maintenance, I think they go maybe a same route or whatsoever. I think, thanks very much.
Thank you. Honorable Anati. Honorable Anati.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Number one, ipolicy ngokokwayo xa uyivula Speaker ithi ipurpose yayo kukuba kubekho a conducive environment for the students of WSU. So that means as this house masiqale sisete a standard sethu as WSU. This thing of inspection is been grades from A up to E. Iyasibetha. Because uzawufumaniseka ba uyenzelelelwa lo upha ku E. Abasabuyeli kwipolicy bayazi that ipurpose yale policy ithini. So i-standard sethu masisete wena speaker asisangapha uzoxoxa i-specification. Siyasazi i-specification sase-WSU sikhona si-clear but the compliance from i-landlords asinayo ayikho. That's why namhlanje funeke sisete i-standard esithi masi-allocate on group A and B as WSU across all campuses. Sibuye wena Speaker of the Honorable House, siye kwi-arrangement pha kwi-guiding and policy, but number 4, kwi-special arrangements. Phaya under special arrangements, sine-student zethu ezina 28 and above, where zisenzelwe special arrangements kuthiwa mazifakwe ko-single room if basekhona. Siyacela pha Honorable Speaker, nabantu bethu, we have students, our constituency, abantu abamarried. Funeke si-understandane apha as the house that if una 28 and above and umarried, at least immaturity ayizulingana. Uzohlala ne-student esina 18, nizawuxabana each and every day kuzawungena complaints. So let us have a special arrangement for 28-year-old married people, yes. Another special arrangement says sike ngokuwena Honorable Speaker, C optional, which is the LGBTQIA+ community. Yes, I'm sorry Speaker uba ndiyibize wrong, but le community funeke siyazi ba is sensitive kakhulu and funeke si consideration that ngabantu abaphila nathi and siphume as university ukuba si identify gender as sex. Because as the university identify gender as a sex, female and a male, of which there's no such. We have 9 binary under gender. So pagu LGBTQI maibe optional when uallocate, because ihleli senziwa on other campuses that umuntu ayozicelela hayi mna ndinguAnathi ingase ndihlale namantombazana andikho comfortable uhlala nabafana and asicinezeli ke ngoku the other gender umuntu uyiba optional naye uba haya ninangxaki ndingahlala noAnathi ngoku mna ndingumfana because uAnathi yena as a person uzi identify as, I would say, as a gay or a queer zonke eza alphabets zabo. So mayibe optional speaker singayinyanzelisi because the minute sinyanzelisa bakhona abangazuba comfortable about le arrangement sizanayo, but xa siyibeka as ipolicy sizama ubonisa that iWSU at large recognize the LGBTQIA+ community. Mayibe optional speaker xa kusenza allocation. Ndihambe speaker ndiye ku disability. Le issue besikhe sayiraise even yesterday sensitive kakhulu. As WSU sizenza abantu that they cater for abantu aba disabled, but ipolicy yethu the minute uyeka ubane funding WSU utreatwa as umuntu oyekileyo uba disabled. Kutheni ndisitsho speaker ibeke black and white that when uluza ifunding disabled isikolo asizukwazi accommodate. So speaker mayibhalwe that funded or not funded. If disabled, number 5 speaker under the special arrangements. If disabled, isikolo masiqhubekeke sisenza special arrangements. In some campuses, sinazo blocks for abantu aba disabled, but kwezinye campuses asinazo. So isikolo masiqale ukubana la ngqondo ba aba bantu siphila nabo. Masingathethi singabi ne theory qha just to attract abantu bangaphandle, but si implement on campus level, because lento xa sixoxa institutional zikhona icampus ezilekhayo implementation. So funded or not funded, is student disabled masikwazi accommodate, because the minute mna ndinguAnathi ndihamba nge-wheelchair ndiluze funding uthi kum andizukwazi accommodate sisikolo, that means mandiyozikhangelela indawo yorenta ndiqhuba i-wheelchair yam for 30 minutes ndibheke ecampusini awusandi recognize as a student disabled. And the speaker ndiyafuna xa ifakwa on policy align with offices zayo. We have only one office which is institutional for disabled student. Ecampusini it's only the student affairs unit ekwazi uzama iqokelela apha mayibe khona ibe phaya, so that when kusenziwa allocation unit leya kwa disability on a campus level incedisane no residence unit, so that singazuba nazo izinto ezilekhishayo izitudent zethu nazo eziphila nalento ba mna ndinomlenzo nengxaki kanye nditheni zize ngaphambili ziyazi that there's this office. So mayibhalwe wena speaker la ndawo ye disabled student that asiyoyiki siyayithetha pha ku student that ufunded ungekho funded, because siba special ngenxa bene funding. Let's go and align this with the core values of the institution, ubuntu. Xa ndisiya kubuntu ke ndisuka ku disabled student ndibuyela back to the unfunded student, postgrad students. You will recall when I speaker kwiminyaka edluleyo icampus used to allocate postgraduates ezingena funding to ilanduza yayo ngaphakathi ecampusini, then off campus if yenzela abantu abafunded. So sithi ke ngoku speaker masibhale black and white, so that ingabi arrangement yalo current SRC hayi siyacela man sicelela u20 sicelela u30. Masibhale that 50% of postgraduates must allocate ecampusini, then 50% bathatha abantu abafunded, because 10% umncinci kakhulu to postgraduates esinazo. Lento ayizuba into ya institutional, izawuba into ye campus ne campus u50% why. And guest speaker funeke singaxokisani singabi ngamamenemene apha ku plenary. Sithetha lanto ka 50% siyazi that not zonke izitudent zizawukhetharishelwa kula 50%, because sine postgraduates ezininzi. So sithini ngomnye 50. So lo 50 simbeka kanjani xa sembhala? 50% we postgraduates ezikhetharishwayo masibe ne average we pass rate, because once sithi first come first serve azusebenzela sicela uba ne average isikolo sisiallocate lo 50%, omnye 50% mabakhangele i-funded students. I think when I deputy, when I speaker, hello mas.
Thank you. Honorable Snetemba, please do come forward. It's Mtigizana, ne? Sinethemba Mtigizana. Thank you.
Comrade, your leadership.
Honorable.
Speaker. Speaker, I will not take long, Speaker. Mine is too short, Comrade says Tetil. But Speaker, my concern is self-allocation policy. Self-allocation, room allocation policy. Self-allocation, comrades. Narrative, honorable members, besibike ngolhlobo into ka self-allocation policy. Self-allocation policy, comrades, sifuna students sifike campusini sithathe the form, something like a contract. Ejoy bakule resident yakuyo kukhona into ethile nento ethile nento ethile, kukhona ifridge, kukhona ikhabhadi, kukhona zonke. Siyozibonela kwezi privately owned residences, because apho sinengxaki khona kakhulu kupha kwi privately owned residences. Abantwana phaya bafika kukhona izitovu zisebenze for 2 weeks zingaphinde zisebenze. So ndifuna kwenzeke kanjani ke ngokwena comrade leadership? Honorable member, as comrades, they will take their contract from residents, go to their respective residences that they are allocated in. Emveni koko, Speaker, they will see. Okay.
Own leadership tone.
Uzongena endlini yakhe, Speaker, akhangele zonke izinto zibhalwe apha. Azibone uba zikhona, Speaker. And therefore asayine uba uyayithatha le residence uyahlala kuyo. Xa ehlala kuyo, Speaker, once A1 yangabikho wangabi satisfied, uyabuya kwa residence again uyotsho uba le ayisekho ngoku nale ndifuna ukuphuma kuya residence ayisekho competent ngolaa hlobo bendifuna ngalo. Uyayibo? So Speaker ke, that is the document mhlawumbi yindlela ebesirhalela yenzeke ngayo uba i-contract mayibe phakathi kwe-students abe khona u-residents njengomntu allocate abantwana, but mostly important makasayine nolandlord atsho uba ndiyaku-allocata kule room inezinto ezikanje nakanje, because zisongabikho siba nengxaki wena Speaker sizokutshintsha abantwana i-res allocate unyaka wonke into evelileyo. Abantwana bayakhala kweli cala kuyothatha abantwana basuka kwelaa cala baphinde bakhale bathathe base kwelinye icala, uyayibo? So allocate unyaka wonke just to minimize umsebenzi wena Speaker, sikwazi uku-attenda nezinye issues ze-students. Umntwana wami ne-contract athi ehlala phaa abeyazi, because le nto ye-grades ayisincedisi, kuyayiwa kwi-inspection but ke asazi uba kufike kwenzeke ntoni kwi-inspection. Comrades, kukhona lento siyilibalayo sithetha in fact honorable members. Honorable members, they are unfunded disabled students. In fact, these cases bendiye ndadibana nazo kakhulu kulo nyaka. Comrades, especially honorable members, especially kwezindawo zine accommodation is outside. So phaya comrades sihlala nge-funding outside the campus, honorable members. Now that students are unfunded and disabled, funeke comrades sihambe siyozijonga, honorable members, sihambe siyozijongela indawo yokuhlala. Now, as students, asinayo indawo yokuhlala, asina funding, just because kaloku apha esikolweni allocate abantu abane funding. Leadership ngawuxela terrible example, honorable Speaker. Lithi khona abantwana abasiyekileyo isikolo just because banayo imali yokurenta, but uzorenta phaa azibanayo itransport yokuya esikolweni. You see? Abayifumani support. Yayibo? Masiyithathe into consideration ke leadership or honorable Speaker that our bantwana bayasufferisha and they are dropouts as the disabled just because of funding. You see? So, honorable member, I must move to into ezijixo. Masingayi-undermine that thing of lock. Besike sangakwazi ukuregister abantwana thina ngoJanuary. Kuthiwa ababuyisanga izijixo. Izijixo ekhaba zinikwe. Yabo? So, let us try by all means to amend laa ndawo ithi if ever ndiyafika erumini yam akukho nto ndiyazithengela, I must hand over slip okanye receipt so that ndirefundwe. Singaxhatshazwa speaker university sithenge izinto zasemakhayeni ethu siphinde sithenge ezalast renta khona. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Yamkela Kachu, I think it was you. Next. And Honorable Members, please refrain from shouting. And please do mind your tone. There is a mic, and the mic is very tone sensitive. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Speaker. You see, Speaker.
Sorry, let me protect you. Honorable Anati, Honorable Mangisa, and Honorable Snetemba, please do respect the House. Do not speak whilst there's a speaker on the floor. It is a gross disrespect to the House, to the student populace that is watching the so-called student leadership engaging. Thank you so much. Please continue, Honorable Kachu.
Thank you very much, Speaker. You see, Speaker, yesterday I did mention that these core values that we see here in front of us must be quickly integrated to the university staff. Those values being honest and integrity, and most and for all, the last one, Ubuntu. President Eric tried to explain, Honorable Eric tried to explain this thing, but I feel like let me also touch based on it. You see, this issue of 500, we are not bluffing, members. This issue of 500 being paid to a student, as if President of the institution is saying it's rare. Yes, here in East London, it's rare. In Amtata, there are many cases that are like that. You find a room with no single furniture, but you are expected to stay there. There are many rooms that, you see, when you are being allocated, there's that paper. Nifundi libele kamalala. A paper for good tea kuba. Okay, endlini khona ntoni. Yes. In Mtata on-campus residences, it can be only pulo. It can be only pulo that you can tick that paper which is khona zonke ezinto. And we all know why it's pulos, because it kwenziwa ngoku. So, as Honorable Eric Besich, we charge 500 xa ungasibusanga stick. Now tell me, they are going to charge you, be it banginikile okanye abanginikanga, they are going to charge you anyway. Ukuphela konyaka. How they charge you? This year, students were blocked from registering. They were blocked. They were told they must firstly pay that 500 rand in order for them to be cleared, to be allowed to register. What is that? So it must be the same, because these cases are very popular. These cases of having no logs. If a student is going to pay log, then it must be compensated imali yakhe back. It's not like it's money that is coming from nowhere. That is what that was the logic behind this part of 500. Maintenance with residences. I want us members of this house to make it a point that in these policies that we are reviewing, even if it's not there, but in addition, you are here and you are going to brainstorm about it. In addition, issue of maintenance, maintenance. Engaske lento ye maintenance ibe compulsory, andiyazi ngayenza kanjani be kwipolice ibe compulsory. I do not understand why they do not maintain residences. Xa nisiva sithetha kanjena ke members, it's because tina Prime Tata, there are many on-campus residences and they are not in good condition. Will not lie about that. They are not in good condition at all. So this thing of maintenance must be done. You see, there's another residence there in Mthatha called Islimelo. There were lifts there, but they are no longer working now. Why? They are not maintained. Asaz. Moving forward, same res that I made reference of Islimela. So there were these rooms in that res that previously, when you see their structure, were the kitchen at that time. Now these rooms were converted now in order to be for allocation. It must be clear in our policy that there must be no allocation on that. If a student is paying 24,000, why is our study in the India? We must not allow this thing because of Sekashas. Yes, just at the beginning of this year, I met a student. She's saying she's from Limpopo and she's here to get allocated. Of course, she is admitted here. Now, when we arrive in this room that I'm talking about, it's not in good condition at all. But luckily for the student, because it made me on my way to Spa, luckily we had to go back so that we make Labantu allocate out. No, this room is not right. Please change. Just imagine maybe if such a maybe abantu. You are saying umntwana osuka eLimpopo okanye eMpumalanga uzahlala kanjani endlini engena furniture at all. Umuntu osuka eLimpopo, it's impossible, comrades. I mean, all honorable members. Njani, where is Ubuntu on that? Core values. Where is honest and integrity on that? The last part, this one. Yazi. Hey, there was CHE visit. Currently, there was CHE visit, and people were being shown pulo as if all is well. Take those CH people to Baghdad so that they can see what is happening. There was even an ambulance on that day. I was there, it was in source.
Honorable members, Honorable Asif, thank you. I would appeal to our online audience to, when they have a comment, to use a capital letter C prior. When you have a clarity, you use a small letter C prior. When you are having an input, you use a capital letter I. Thank you so much. Honorable Asif, please do. And also I want to say this to the speakers, please do refrain from being exuberant when you are with the mic, because the tone.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Hey, speakers, when it comes to residences. First and foremost, the accessibility to residences zethu. Here, when Honorable Speaker, sithetha ngabantu aba-disabled, umuntu ohamba nge-wheelchair ngeke ayofika eSilimela residence le ndithetha ngayo, because ayikho accessible uba yena ngangena, ayikho indawo yokunyuka i-wheelchair. The only residence abakwazi ukufika kuzo, it's Kuwait and Baghdad, and I think some of Atlanta. Otherwise, Entinga, no pool and stuff. So accessibility ayikho campusing. So that on its own, the double standards, I can say, because omnye accessible uba ngahamba yofika naphi na afuna uyofika khona. Ndidlula lapho, Honorable Speaker, dize kule nto edibene ne-inventory form I think Honorable Gachu was ukuyichaphazela kancinci. When you are allocated, uye unikwe la form iqale kulonyaka futhi and abayisebenzisa ngendlela right because nje banginikeza la form futhi kusho bazikho and unyaka uyaphela nangowazi kabikho wawusubmitile back vele kubo nangokunyaka uyaphela abazenzi. So la inventory form fanele kube khona i-follow ups that okay, now that I'm allocated kule room 72 hours, a maximum of 72 hours that izinto zi-installwe. And then this is a case of postgraduates. You see, postgraduates, suppose the pride is the institution. But when kuqala unyaka, you'll see that as postgraduates, it's more like abantu abangathathwa serious inhlobo ecampusini. Abana funding, abana rooms, it's a lot. So I'm going to align myself with Interteto Comrade Honorable Anat, a certain percentage for abantu abazi postgraduates on campus, because campus that 50% of postgraduates must be given, must be allocated on campus. And then the issue, this issue is serious because it's chaphazele and iqala implementwa this year. Kukula res police besiqala nathi kuyibona save sanikeza ipolice kathi soyijonga the issue of 500s yabo izinto zikhona ezi right as beneficial to students but management is implementing as favorishes students but once a favorisha bona then yaqala implement immediately in the students were blocked ku portal uba umuntu maka register just because awuzange usibuyisa isitixo owazithengela so the whole lock wazithengela wazifixela wazifakela yonke into and then most of decide uhambe nazo and then it was obhatal 500 zange usibuyisa isitixo. At the same time and then bekhona before nje senzokwehla wena Honorable Speaker bekokafika CHE abokufika kwa CHE I've observed everything kanqala ukubona ipost ze institution ziyopostwa ko Silimela residents exhonye napha mongena egate immediate mode entrance uyabona o CHE yes so nga notice ba kwezi offices sekuqalile kukhona mind steps monyuka all along besingazi mind na steps bezingekho steps sekhona mind steps kajonga ama classes abefile pha kweza offices pha ko examinations asefixiwe sekuthinthini like it's a lot khona neza errors exit get inside zonke ezane no assembly points so isikolo sinayo imali singazenza lezi zinto but isikolo si arrogant in a way because siyaphila kwezi conditions not that ze right or ze conducive basihlale kuzo but sokunyamezela sifuna ezi qualifications sifuna otherwise zona zi wrong kakhulu indawo esiphila kuzo and then kube khona issue of double standards ku residences you find that at Iphulo kune TV ezi3 angizozibala ezinye residences otherwise zi10 on campus then ezi2 ziya renovate so ezinye the other ones angizozibala azinazi TV suppose mongene res uthi ufika endlini yakho awuphathanga stove lento the issue of part 2 burner ube no 2 plate pa res is very out of order but i-billing yale res inclusive of everything and imali may increase yes residences increase zonke nale ebhilishwayo nale I mean le erenovatwayo nale engarenovatiwe. Honorable Speaker, I think it's the last one. Kukona the issue yoba uvelu allocate ufika ayikho if you finish it all. Mhlambi khona okhona ibit wardrobe ayikho awuyazi yephi. Amacango mhlambe likhona alivaleki. So lonto wena Honorable Speaker, umuntu that is allocated kulo room must give isikolo or i-maintenance department 48 hours ba zibe khona zonke izinto because amaplanga khona wonke pa maintenance bangaleka badibanisa iplanga bayikhiphe ifakwe. So babayeka usidelay just 48 hours yoba balungisa into i-maintenance room. Ay mandehla. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There was a hand after yours, Honorable, was it Honorable Mevan? Then I'm not sure if it was the Speaker of Komani. Thereafter, then it was Honorable Zipa closing this round off. Actually, it was Mevan, Honorable Speaker of Komani. It was Honorable Buyile Bango. It was then Honorable Zipa. Then we close off this round.
Nkosi Speaker, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Mine is not long because the speaker is tethile kakhulu. What I'm noticing here across all campuses, the issue of maintenance is one issue that we are facing and is struggling ngayo, which means that into ebethayo endibonayo kube sifikele ndawo sikuyo when it comes to maintenance is that there's no monitoring eyenzekayo throughout the year. Into eyenzekayo kuya-inspectwa kayi-one, then kulungiselwe nje for la game okay is inspection. After that akhonto ngenye to monitor uba esa standard bekungene ngayo students phakathi sisa-maintaining. Mna ke I would like to propose one ba every 3 months there should be monitoring ba kuyocheckishwa as residences sikula allocate kuyo students ingaba zazimitha na esa standard sifunekayo for ba umntana kwazi abe conducive apartment kuzokwazi ufunda and abe khona kwindawo right e safe. There's one other issue that is banayo is a safety kwi residences zethu. It's one issue that funeka nayo sikwazile ukuyidraftela so that ibe yenye into is important because if ungabe ne res right but I safety ingabikho because kwindawo hlala kuzo asinokwazi baleka there are criminal elements ezikhoyo. So safety is one other thing that we should be senze sure ba siyayibhala yana phansi ba funeka ibe khona of utmost importance kwenzela sure kuba xa ungaphakathi e residence ngaphakathi awuzozifila uba awukho kwinhlaba all right. So meaning that security esinazo inansi cameras are supposed to be khona kwi res zonke and the cameras ezikhoyo funeka zibe on standard because the cameras ezikhoyo umuntu uyambamba but angabonakali, meaning that ke ngoku umsebenzi wale camera yintoni. So on residences funeka be khona quality cameras ezikwazi yoba xa sijongiwe ukwazi identify lo muntu umoshileyo kanye lo sela elo libileyo kwi residence esilala kuzo, so that i-perpetrator ikwazi ufunyana so that ikwazi uba ithini ukudlala umthetho udlala indima yawo. But at the current moment i-residence esihlala kuzo they don't have quality cameras so that i-safety yomuntu ngaphakathi iyazi uba ilungiselelwe. That's one thing engenye endiqondayo funeka kwi-residences zethu iqwalaselwe. So Speaker, andizothetha kakhulu. Okay, I do believe that even nakwi-monitoring libe ndithetha ngayo funeka laa nto yona yenziwe kakhulu because i-residences as far as speakers bezithetha apha esihlala kuzo ngoku they are not up to standard. And I do concur with comrade Honorable Speaker Anathi Gwesithi there has to be standard esisibekayo esi-high because the amount of money that we are paying is ridiculous for indawo ehlala kuzo, for the standard of indawo ehlala kuzo. It can't be that ubhatala 30,000 fumaniseke akukho zonke lezi furnitures sethwa ngazo amacango nento zonke into ezibekwayo but imali yona ibeka phambili. Kodwa yona is the standard indawo lihlala kuyo is not up to par kunale mali ibekwayo. So I do support that ba standard esibekwayo mabe ngu A no B. Aba sinodi nabanye aba abasebenzeli total. Hence sisifumana sikule ndawo sikuyo ngalo mzuzu. That's because uyaziwe lo muntu inothi uyenzelelelwa xa yenzelelwa yasicingelwa thina bantu babhatala full amount asenzelelwa thina imali esibhatalayo. Ifuna full amount bebona infrastructure lena is supposed by ikhona so that sibe ne environment conducive ibe yona ingekho ngaphakathi. So meaning that standard definitely senze ibe ngula A no B. Sizimonitorishe each and every 3 months. Ibe khona imonitoring enzekayo and be khona consequences ezibekelwayo for land laws if as comply with rules and regulations of accommodating students apha eWusu. So that's another thing that we have to ensure that siyayenza because into enzekayo iland laws yaba co punishment enzekayo. Unikela 48 hours ufumaniseke umuntu ulungisa for umzuzwana, there's no quality xa kulungisa into akayilungisi to equality eyazi ba izolasta for a long time. So that's another thing that we have to ensure that there's some sort of a repercussion if a landlord does not comply with the rules and regulations. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. I believe it was Honorable Skonati next.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Hey, I'm a little bit captured, but I understanding submit somehow, especially the no bit anat in capture shake cool, but now I'm now at a little bit where's a point that since they are in fact let me say okanye mandibe kanje ne eKomani campus there's off-camp residences and they are not owned by Walter Sisulu University. They are private residences. So landlord akazuvuma mhlawumbe ba akuthiwe this person whether it's funded or unfunded low net disability that makamfake res. No, my point is iWusu must allocate okanye mayizame donation mhlawumbe kwezo ndawo for students that are unfunded and but disabled so that bazokwazi bahlale kwezo residences. I believe that in IBK in fact in Mount inazo off-camp residences. Number 2, the issue of LGBTQI plus diyahalela mna kungathwa mayibe optional because we are going to have a problem yoba umuntu athi akafuni ukuhlala namathi ufuna ukuhlala kwindawo ehlala girls ibe igirls zona zingafuni ukuhlala naye, you see. Okanye mhlambi lo residences ibisithi mna allocate noni igirls zodwa. So into enizanayo mna ndithi those students must be allocated in single rooms so that umuntu akwazi ba azihlalele yedwa, especially in fact nezi students that are having calling yabo umuntu mhlambi unezanto zakhona ahlale yedwa so that azokwazi ukwenza into zakhe yedwa because asizukwazi umixa amantombazane nala neza student ezi because some of them kuyachiwe kuba abanye bayadablisha babetha ngapha nangapha yabo. So we're going to have a problem phayana. So maba allocate phi kwi single rooms especially at least noba yona into engcono. Lastly before I learn Speaker, ixesha especially those residents that are off camp like off Komani campus ixesha longa ne res makungathiwa ngo10 uyangena res. We are adult here in university akuzithiwa ngo10 kuyavalwa. If when I remember President that I want to engage with youth, so fun ban engage in the youth and then ngo10 bese nibuye. What if I want to do something after 10? You see? So please ixesha mal consideration that is badala sinecawa zasebusuku singabanye we are pastors and all those things. So must ixesha le campuses malinga I mean le residences must not be 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. Okay, man, it must be unlimited. Thank you very much.
Honorable member, thank you. I think the next one was Honorable Zipo. A very fruitful submission from the Speaker of Komani campus.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I'm just going to touch on 3 points that I feel are maybe also important to the discussion of residences. 1, Firstly, as a parliament, we must be aware of time and space and the changes that are going around in the higher education sector, so that when we review these policies, they will also be flexible with change. Now, in terms of the grading of WSU, there is a new model that is being proposed by the Department of Higher Education. And when you check in that model, the WSU residences on their own do not offer quality. And when you check in terms of the specifications, WSU expects external residences to have things that they do not have themselves. I will take a typical example. If you go and check in Butterworth, in Student Village, the specification of a residence is that there should be your essential things like your stove, a fridge, kettle. These are things that you use normally. But you find that the institution on its own does not have necessary utilities for the students, and yet they expect external stakeholders to have them, which is a problem because charity begins at home. Secondary to that, Student Village does not have a backup system, yet it's a university-owned residence. And when you check in terms of the new Vision 2030, it says that residences must be renovated to an extent that the institution will be able to charge and benefit to make revenue to keep the institution going. However, how are you going to do that if you don't offer quality? Then the next one is that the specification should be added as a clause on its own. Because the problem that we have is that once you do not meet the specification, it's got its own process of going, and it is not constitutionally implicated. Therefore, or rather, according to the initial specification of residences. So that should also be considered. And in the specification, there should be recreational activities that are added, because the reason why we generally as young people consume alcohol to this level in our residences is that there are no places where we can engage and socialize that are recreational. I-res ayinayo nditsho indawo yoba nikhe niphume niyohlala nje phandle nincokole as resmates. There's no activities, there's no gym. When are we going to prosper as an institution? Those things must be added. Every residence must have a compulsory gym, compulsory recreational areas that we can go and sit. And if it goes to an extent of saying that you'll even have the dry areas in the residences, let it go there, because we are young adults and we are socializing. Therefore, the environment on its own must be conducive of a young person. Lastly, safety needs of students and a accountability clause. There's something that we tend to overlook in the residence policy, that when you lose something in a residence, who must pay? And it is a problem that we discuss day in and day out in these residences. Amapara figure res, atati laptops zomntu wonke. Atu landlord, hayi akukho nto ithi esikolweni funeke ndibhatele. Kanti who must be held accountable? When you go to the residence office, it says that they are not liable for anything that is lost in your room. Kanti on whose property are we staying on? Therefore, there must be clear accountability to say that if I lose a laptop, ndirojwe while on school property, izawubhatalwa yi-institution. Should the security company fail to notice that person who's going to come and steal my stuff, then it should not be blamed on me as a student. The same applies for posers and outside residences, to say that they themselves, the standard must be maintained to say that they must be qualified securities e-18. Siyeke ukugadwa ngotata omkhulu no malume balapha elalini. So if we can be able to say that we are going to address that, and the security cluster in the institution says that they must create a system of a panic button of some sort, because when you are in trouble, you find that, for example, some of us stay alone in single rooms. Who are you going to cry for? And how are you going to alert other people that you have got a crisis in your own room now? So there must be mechanisms to try and also speak directly to the vision that is saying that we are a technology-infused institution. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Sipo. Honorable Bango. All right. Thank you so much. We are now moving to our online commentary. To our viewers online, please do keep the comments coming. We see them, and please utilize our WhatsApp line that we have set up to send through your comments. I'm going to give to the Deputy Speaker to read the comments.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Before I even get to read, can honorable members of the House jot some of the questions so that, because there are also questions here, so that we also give response to the viewers online. Thank you. The first comment is from Tabisa Wakonawe. I think this one, it's a comment. It's a comment on the electricity backup. Can you please also include it's a question, but it's a commentary question. On the electricity backup, can you please also include even university-owned residences to supply students with this important resource? I think she meant to say private-owned WUSU residences, yes. Oh, okay. Oh, it was, okay, yeah, on campus, okay. Then there's also a comment from Uyamkela Ndwangu. It says, but who will pay if not funded by NSFAS? Xa ningazojonga results zomntwana, you need to look kwizinto ezicreator unnecessary debts. Then we also have we also have, it's a question, who will pay if not funded by NSFAS? Yeah, then we also have Usiasanga Ramutsamaya. Okay. We skip that one. Okay. Then there's also a comment, another comment from Uyam Gelandwangu. Have you discussed about residence debts as nyuka zisehla ogo uthi uhleli endlini enamaphela nechick ibe idura ayikhona? So it's a question now. Have you discussed about residences debts as fluctuate with amakokorosh? Okay, then we also have a comment from Umbongeni Ribok Nondabula. The submission of LGBTQI plus community must be informed on basis of specification for the gender identity, and allocation be done according in that choice on the residence application system. It's clear that there must be a special arrangement for the LGBTQI, but it must be well informed. That's a comment. We have a question from Umasive, firstborn. People who get bursaries second semester, when they are getting, or when are they getting their allowances, especially the book allowance? This one campus based.
Sorry, just as a point of information to our online viewers, this special institutional student general council is not to address matters of campus per se in operation, such matters of book allowances and such other matters, but please refer to your campus SRCs for that in due time. This is a policy in Daba, a policy workshop, a policy student general council.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We also have a comment from Luciba Sobetwa. Oh, aren't we? Okay. It is the submission of alcohol being consumed inside. Okay, I think we read this already. Yeah.
Please do come forward.
Yeah, thanks, Speaker. Igama lam Ndungisenlembe from Broad Campus. Dungu Speaker Opa. I think you've made a mistake when you addressing said Sikwi in the harbor or a workshop. Sikwi policy review. We're here to review the policy in Denzelba. Ungabekho abantu ba opportunity in the process bengathi Sikwi in the harbor. Sizoreview policy. ISGC. Please correct that. In fact, we are out of order.
Okay, we also have another comment from Mutabisa wako nawe. Then Oti, on the submission of 30 beds from the Deputy Director for disadvantaged students, who will be liable for that debt? Is it the budget from the Deputy Director's office? That's the question. Okay, I think the last.
Also, thank you so much, Deputy Speaker. I would also caution university staff to refrain, or university management and managers as well, as to refrain from commenting online. We see you. Now, not that we are not inclusive, however, we are exclusive of management. Hence, even in this special ISG sitting, we asked management, which was present, to vacate the premises so that we can continue with the business of the day, exclusive of management. The purpose of the online platform was so that the student populace of WSU and even convocants can send through submissions, and in the interest of transparency. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm left only with two comments. Okay, then we have Urifaya Mbali Tandogohle Bekesha. Oti EPCC, on your submissions, you should have included this thing of residence inspection, and it must be done quarterly during the academic year. Okay. Okay, no, I think we're done. Yeah, we're done. Then we're done.
Oh, sorry. As Deputy Speaker had asked that you'd note down, I'm going to put it to the House, clarities that were asked by our online audience. But our online audience, I'd ask it that, because the clarities that you are raising are things that have already been clarified in the discussions of the various honorable members here. However, I'm going to put it to the House. Is there a further clarity that you'd wish to clarify before we close this session? Okay, I'm seeing hands. 1, 2, 3. Please do proceed to.
I just want to answer the question that was asked, that says, who's going to pay for the 30 beds? Now, I would like to then say, we all understand most that residence has been taken out from student affairs as a separate unit. So therefore it automatically means that the budget will have to come from unit yakwa residence, because student governance now is dealing with different issues. However, even though but the budget directly should come from residence unit, exclusive of says sezikhona azi-10 siyazazi seziyi-10 esezikhona zingabalwa ku-edwe ezi nizibhatale ezo residence.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member.
Good day, honorable members of the parliament. Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, and yes, members of the bill, and there's questions that were on the ground. I'm not sure whether I should address them. No. Yeah, they were on the question of 25%, and there was the question of the 7 days on the inputs of command. Comrades, I want to start with
Honorable members.
Honorable members, I want to start with this with this clarity of 25%, which say it says on the policy that a student that is self-funded have to pay 30% upfront at the beginning of the year if he or she wants to be allocated, and 70% on second semester. We as Komani campus, we are saying a student that is self-funded must pay 25% quarterly. Honorable members, we need to be frank, honest, and quite straightforward with this one. The residents of Komani campus are all posers, which is they are privately owned student accommodations, and they are limited. You'll find that they are limited to such an extent that they cannot even accommodate even those students that are funded. Hence, you'll find that you have the likes of non-residence allowance. So, if we are saying that the students should not pay even a little or should not pay at all, it means that we are creating unnecessary debts for students, of which we do not want that. You'll find that even if the student is funded by that premier's funding to pay his or her debt, that funding cannot even cover all of that debt. So we remain very clear there when we're saying that a student that is self-funded should pay 25% quarterly. On the issue of 7 days, we cannot shy away that as the student of WSU, we are coming from the disadvantaged background. So if you are saying that a student should claim his or her resident within 48 hours, it is very unfair, that one. So it's at least a little bit fair when you are saying a student should claim in 7 days. Because if you find the times of registration and allocation, those are critical days. You'll find that as the processes, they take place during January or February, where it's critical time. If you want to claim a space of residence, you need data. Data needs money, and the data ngela So we remain very clear with these ones. See Komani campus. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Member. Please do lower the mic. Order, comrades, honorable members.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker and honorable members, I see Dlali Masithi University Maiba acknowledge abantwana abangekho funded, especially postgrad, because when people
Honorable members, sorry, honorable member. Please do put your cellular devices on silent. Please do resume your submission, honorable member.
Thank you, Speaker. Here, Speaker, we are trying to build the equality amongst the society. So when we are trying to build equality ebantwini, ubuyisa ubuntu as per i-values ze-university. Awukwazi ukubahlula-hlula. I-university is here to build students so that ngenye imini kuthiwe laa mfo wayephume usu unekhampani. But I'm acknowledge lo mntu lowo ngokuthi ithi siyabulela ukuthi uze wazonyusa igama le-institution. So these people abanika i-business zezi students ebezi-funded behlala kuzo, mababanike indawo zokuhlala mabengekho funded, as to say u-10% we-residents ka-honorable member uCross makahlala abantwana abangekho funded bakwazi abantwana ukuqhubeka nezifundo zabo baphumelele. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker of Komani Campus. Sure.
Thank you very much.
1 minute.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I'm just saying, ndifuna ukongeza kule issue ye 7 days. Land ye 7 days. The reason why we as Komani Campus city, my class must be 7 days. We believe that, in fact, all of us, we know that the system yasewusu ilene clinches ezingapheliyo. Ingangena kuwe link ungakwazi uclaim space sakho. Okanye ingangeni at all kuthi system it down. Just a whole week kuthi it down system. So you can't be given 48 hours to claim space sakho if uclaimanga by kususa res. So at least 7 days will be enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, thank you for your submission as well as the submissions of our online audience. I think, in fact, we are closing this plenary on residence police. We are moving forward to the next document, which would be the sport policy engagement policy, and also speakers that are going to speak on the on the policy and are going to engage as well. And Kalengaba, we are going to re-begin the process with Buffalo City Campus, Ibika, Tata, then Komani. I'm seeing a hand. Please do come forward.
Thanks, Speaker. It's a clarity. I've got a clarity, Speaker, on the program, this program. I see that we are reviewing these policies. But the policy which speaks unto alcohol and drug abuse, I do not see it discussing here. But we did at campus level, Tina, reviewed that policy. And we've already been grilled by comments that are heard about maybe unreasonable when we're saying there must be a social area inside the campus. So that is the clarity when I speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to clarify you, Honorable Kachu, one of the documents that was sent to these campuses and also presented yesterday by the campuses was the proposed alcohol and drug policy. So equally so today, in today's plenary, I think it will be the last document that we'll be discussing, as we have a further leeway because it's still a proposed document, just to clarify you. So we will have inputs as well because campuses have made inputs on the proposed drug and alcohol policy. In moving forward, can I have the representative from Buffalo City Campus?
Okay. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you. Because of time, I'll just go straight into it. When it comes to
Honorable members.
okay, our submission as Buffalo City Campus, when it comes to the sport policy, goes as follows: the university shall have a duty to take care of students who got injured while being a player in a certain sport code until that student is fully recovered. Then we went to 6.2 policy content. The university encourages that there should be sport activities that are encouraging the participation of disabled students. Meaning that, okay, we are saying that there should be sports that are catered for disabled students, not only just able students. So that there should be a focus also on disabled students when it comes to the sporting codes. So that needs to be highlighted also. Identity and indemnity. Sorry. Also shall assist students in an event where a student has an injury while playing sport. So that's another one that, okay, we've submitted when it comes to sports, that, okay, if a student is injured while representing the institution, that student should be covered by WUSU. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mevan. Very brief and straight to the point. Can I have from Butterworth Campus? Honorable members, can I please caution honorable members from speaking whilst not having raised a hand? It causes disorder and disarray. We will be taking a stance of naming and shaming thereafter. Please continue.
Yeah, thanks, Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Mine is simply Kukucho submission ye Butterworth Campus. Sport policy. Section 6.3.1. Itelanga fees about another sport. Was saying as Butterworth fees sport levy must be charged to those who are only interested in sport, not to all students. Ndilaba mdata ndiyanda bekhatywa njani bona. But if you go there to settlement sum of months by sport fee levies sitsaliwe. Mhlawumbe at some point when I want to utilize the facilities such as the grounds ndicela uba zezabantu abadlala besikolo ngophela, but in the process I'm being charged for that. Also the grounds that you play in must be conducive. Number 3, if ever it happens that ndilimale ebaleni ndidlalela isikolo, please isikolo must take care of me prod yonke until I fully recover. Mayiphele laa nto kuthiwa you are only being taken care of once xa seloziphindela e-clinic or e-pharmacy isikolo sangendawo. The last one, the reason why we want sport and the recreation other stuff is to showcase the talent esinayo. It might happen, I might be seen somewhere and somehow. But if ever it happens that ndilimele ndidlale wusu, might even happen by rugby, karate, boxing, ndalimala totally to a point whereby andizokwazi ukudlala at all. Iwusu, please, must compensate abantu bayo, because the reason why udlala apha udlala for the future purposes and ufuna ukubona somehow. So if ever it happens that uyalimala ungakwazi uphinda udlala, must be compensated so that in a long run ungazuzisola ngokurepresent ibrand yase-WSU. Enkosi.
Thank you, Honorable Sandile. Honorable Gachu from Tata Campus, could you please step forth, leadership?
Thank you, Chair. On sport policy, 6.3.1, yeah, that is chapter 6, Deputy Speaker. All schools should be under the sport department as we have in the university. 6.4, Paragraph B. Sport department must cover all costs of consultations for injury occurred during official competitions and games. Paragraph C. All sport codes must have 3 qualified medical team. That is, maybe cricket must have their medical team, and so on and so on and so on. 6.7. USU must be liable for any injuries incurred while students play. I think it's more the same like the one above. Then 9.1. USU must provide transport for trainings and official games from site to site. You remember that this specifically from Tata campus, because you remember, even here in East London, there are sites. So now we have to move. There was the res league, so my players, they were moving I mean, move from site to site. So the res league was an official school or university tournament. So we must tournament must be provided when we move from site to site. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very brief, straight to the point. Honorable member from Komani campus. Komani.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, as the Komani campus, we didn't touch the sport policy. We didn't make any submissions or amendments on that. Reason behind that was that we received that constitution late, and then student affairs called a gathering for us to go and review that constitution, but we didn't have time for us to go through that constitution. So with those few words, we didn't touch the constitution. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, I'm very concerned by the submission or lack thereof of submission of Ekomane campus on a critical document of sport. But however, myself and the ISGC Deputy Speaker, there will be repercussions for this, because all of you are entrusted with a degree of power to represent students and to represent the needs of your student constituents. However, I'll sort it after lunch. Now we're moving to a recess of an hour now for lunch, thereafter lunch, simply because I'm seeing hands. I'm noting your hands. Please do come forward in the order of you raised your hands.
Yeah, Ngosi speak. No, mine is simple and short. I'm coming with a proposal to the sitting. Now that you are saying we are going to recess the hour, could you please first see Valalenda sport only, singaphumi kungekho editions and mhlawumbe some clarities that need to be asked, so that xa siyazi uba asibuyeli kusport again, because if ever senze iblanda yokuphuma singamgqibanga usport sishiye ipolicy sazilibala uba besiphi kanye kanye. Could you please cover usport wonke simbeke ecaleni, then xa sibuya sazi uba sibuyele kwenye indawo. Enkosi.
Leadership, there's no need to test the proposal due to the powers given by to the chair of the house. So we are moving in that direction. Autocracy is needed here or there. Now we have received these 3 reports, whereof there should have been 4, but that issue would be taken care of aside. Now, I'm opening a round of engagements zazizaninzi izandla. Comrade Asive, sorry, Honorable Member Asive, Honorable Member Snethemba, Honorable Member Gachu, Honorable Member Buyile Bangu, Honorable Member Sbu, Honorable Member Okuhle Nchinji, Honorable Member Nchinji, Honorable Member Amanda, Honorable Member Eric, Honorable Member Honorable Member from Komani, Honorable Batandwa, you'll close it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I won't be long. Honorable Speaker, ndifuna uqala ngale matter yabantu yezi sport codes, because into eyenzekayo ngoku, the only sport codes ezikhona ezirecognizwayo kuba yi-football, ibe yi-rugby, and then the rest abantu bo chess nani nje we hardly see them even on campus. So ipoint yami isekuthenini i-recognition of all sport codes. Umzekelo, the only sport codes ezine team kwi-management, like ezine team yesikolo, ibhola, i-rugby, nevoli. Then ezinye sport codes ziye ke handball njalo njalo, because when it comes to talents asifani, omnye ukwazi udlala netball or something. So it should be inclusive of all sport codes as provided at campusini. Uba zonke zibe ne transport whenever they need to travel. I think the last part, the issue of ukuhlala lapha university for 4 years or whatsoever, ubhatala la mali yakwa sport ungasidlali sport, yona I support the motion yoba masibhatala ulo sidlalayo. It goes back to la mali ya la police yokufa, yabo. Uma ungasafanga ngathi ngavele ibuya la mali yakho sophumile esikolweni, yabo. So but ke sithetha ngesport apha, yabo. So emotion enikuyo usport makaqala imali yakhe kubantu abazi participants kwisport. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Snethemba. Very fruitful submissions from Honorable Asif.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Speaker, firstly, Speaker, here I'm not here to oppose anyone. Speak, I'm here to tender my views, deliver and just speak. Speaker, I was sitting levies of e-sport as battle as students. Speaker must be honest. If ever Speaker ngathi i-sport must battle ngumuntu osidlalayo, speak, that means that i-sport usuma singabikho. Ndithetha inyani, speak. Speaker, apha uzofika eMthatha i-sport sidlalwa ngabantu abayi-100 maybe aba-active, but badinga le mali yethu and siyababukela, speaker. And speaker, ndikubalisele sibabukela nje, speaker, siyabasupporta. And ngela xesha sibukele bona sisuke kwezi ndawo zingcolileyo, khona ezi ndawo zingcolileyo sihamba kuzo, speaker. Sihamba siyohlala egroundini, speaker, sibukela abantu. Le mali masiyibhatale, speaker. And respondi kwi-later speakers, but kunyanzelekile isport sibe naso, masiye kupromote siphinde futhi sithi asifuna ukukhupha mali. Irongo loo nto, speaker. Masibhatale. Speaker,
I've noted your hand. All right. Please do approach the podium.
Enkosi Speaker, I'm raising this for several times in this platform. Into yokuba ndiraise isandla ndingaqhaphuki, it doesn't mean uba andifuna uthetha. We are out of order by not granting me the opportunity to speak. Also, I think Honorable Billiard is out of order by responding, also responding in a manner which doesn't get the content. Yekba is sport masidlalwe njani. But I'm saying, as for now, masimiyeka gqibe, but please, when there's a sitting whereby you consolidate, it's whereby mhlambe sewazi actuator kawuhle yonke lento, so that singabi ne hiccups in the process. But ndiyacela sihlalo, whenever there's someone on the platform and I'm raising a hand, meaning I'm raising an order, so you can't let the person continue whilst mislead the house, also the viewers. Enkosi sihlalo.
Thank you very much, Speaker, for allowing me again. Speaker, upper Speaker, kwezi submissions zethu, Speaker, silibele isport sawa disability. Abantu ba disability, Speaker, bayabhatala bafana nathi. But Speaker, ayikho into iye straight ithethe ngo disability kwi sport. Zikhona iziport eziba accommodatayo, Speaker, or khona ezazinto ezibethwayo kuthiwa zintoni? Idarts, khona nedarts, kukhona ihockey, kukhona zonke izinto zikhona zidlalwa nobuhleli phansi noba uhamba kanjani, uyayibo? So Speaker, ndiyarhalela mna phaa kula document yethu siyifake into yesport se-disability ibe comparison isikolo sibe nayo i-team yesikolo eyabantu be-disability, because ekugqibeleni u-disability siphila naye abantu be-disability and akho nto behluke ngayo kuthi, it's just that nje phaa naphaa sine-challenges, uyayibo? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I believe there were other hands raised. It was Eric, then it was Honorable Eric, then it was Honorable Oguhle Nchinchi, then it was Honorable Buyile Bango, then
Thanks
Honorable
very
members, please do refrain from speaking whilst there's a speaker on the floor.
Thanks very much, Speaker, once again. Now, on this issue of sport, I think we are agreeing. There is not much to submit, but I think and also believe that, especially from Tata campus, the landlords of campus residences, they have a tendency of depriving those students to participate in sport. For example, you'll be told that transport by 5 o'clock, it's the last trip. Then you find out that in the process, each gym, ipuma maybe on 6 o'clock. So in that sense, they are depriving students that living on off campus to participate in sport. So in that policy, we must amend that issue of transportation of students living on and off campus residents to be transported to participate in sport. And again, the issue of people who participate in sport, they must be also, again, I think it links with residents, this issue. People who participate in sport, at least there must be a freedom or maybe something to say if maybe soccer players, they want to be allocated in that particular residence so that they can be able to say in this time it's a gym and this time it's whatsoever, so that they cannot be inconvenienced within the process of everything. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Honorable Nchinchi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Ndiyakuthi ndiphakamela mna ndiphakamela la ndawo ye-recognition ye-sport. We are having a very much big crisis in terms of bana zirecognizwe i-sports zethu. Umzekelo uzoba ne-rowing that will be in East London, which is geographically, i-rowing it will be beneficial to students as say East London. Yabo? And then now when it comes to bana zirecognizwe esikolweni, sizawuthi isikolo i-rowing funeke ibe kuzo zonke campuses across the institution. Of which emthatha ke ngoku abazoba nazo, let's say Command abazoba nazo i-rivers to go and participate kwela cala. Of which ke ngoku ayizo recognize phi rowing. We are also having i-frisbees and everything. So laa nto yala recognition akunyanzelekanga bana i-sport sibe kuzo zonke ii-campuses. Nam ndifuna ukunyathela laa mcimbi we-sport levies ezitshajwa ebantwini. I think maziqhubekeke zitshajwa zona, because if you are to do a cost analysis benefit, izazikhosta kakhulu loo nto. It's more like uthi SRC levy mayibhatalwe zi-SRC qha just because bana yabo. So izazikhosta kakhulu loo nto. Ne-transport ndiyayisapota laa nto ye-transport ye-training bana abantu abayotreyina mabayifumane i-transport. Also bana mabanikwe i-safety guard.
Honorable members, please, let's respect the speaker on the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to also nyathele laa ndawo yobana abantu mabayinikwe equipment yodlala. Yabo, umzekelo we understand that bana sisuka kumakhaya angafaniyo. Yabo, I may be having a potential yobana ndidlale e-sport, but umzekelo without soccer boots and everything, I'm not sponsored and now imali yoyithenga. I think bana ifuneke nayo laa nto i-sport department ikwazi unyathela abantwana bathengelwe ihlangu zodlala and also equipment yabo.
Thank you, Honorable Nchinji. Honorable Sbu.
Yes, thank you, honorable members. I think one less been agreement, honorable members, that when we talk of sport, and this is sport, but just entertain the purpose, kuba sisole zene investors. Now, I thought so these members in my sport in my youngest. That if we say that, I can agree with that one. Because it means I'm not a politician. Why I'm doing SRC leave, but I'm paying it. So, and another thing is that, can we talk with the Aban Bagwa sport? Bang prioritize sport SC1. I'm making an example. Soccer, ne rugby is more special than baseball. Our band badlala sport bonke bayalingana. Okubana ucoach bagwa baseball balele. I take by students as lalanga zona, zihleli zona. So it means ngokufuna ukuthweni mazilandelele zonke iziport ezimana zijonga baziyalingana na. Allocation wise, xa nini bandlala sport ndlala rugby nonke nihlele endaweni eyi1 niya understandana. Nazani xa ukhaba ibhola undive ndisiziba okay kusondela ubani ngoku. But omnye xa ehlala off camp, omnye ehlala on campus ayikho la networking process babe kuyo. So I'm saying mna if it's possible we go to Atlanta, sithi block 8 wonke Atlanta allocatelwa abantu abadlala isport. Usazi ba i-first floor ngeyirugby, second floor ngento ethile senze ngolo hlobo ukuthi babe sendaweni eyi1 ungamane kuthiwa omnye ulinde i-transport akafiki ukapteni nebhola akafiki because kutheni i-transport akayifumani. Sibazi basobafumana apha endaweni eyi1 bebonke. It's going to assist. Secondly, zikhona iziport apha we have a Moria of Land thina phayana NMD wangavela ukutheni siswimming phayana uba ukwazi uqupha ngeyakho kufaka kwipool phayana. Uyabona esa sport sine investors ezininzi esa sport esiyana and sikwazi uba nabelungu abafuna ukuqupha bafuna ufunda abayi nje because akuqujwa pha kanti xa uqujwa bazokwazi bekhona. At least ke nisivumele sibe sepha ikhona idampa sibe siqupha khona ibomba siyafuna uqupha nisifumane ngendlela. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Buyile Bango, thank you so much. Please do come forward. To those online, please do keep the comments going. We were hearing them, we're seeing them. Just to mention a few, Siamtanda, France, Metula, Inga, keep those comments coming.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable members, siyavumelana. Indeed, the sport is balulekile. But our institution doesn't take sports serious. Firstly, i-institution yethu ithi mayitsho ine vision, ine mission, and yonke leyo nto ihamba ibuye izotouch base ku-environment abantwana abaphila kuyo. We have crisis in our residences yokuthi students ziyaxabana. Maso uthola ukuthi ikhozwa yini le problem It's because students participate ekuphileni nabanye abantu. Because isikolo siyabavimbela ukuthi mabakwazi ukuphila nabanye abantu. Abantwana abahlala endlini kodwa bathethisana because akho activities ezenzeka ku-institution ezibakhuthazayo. When I quote Vice Chancellor yesterday, usitshena ngemali ekhona ayikhutshiwe to ukukhulisa students. Siyavuma, institutions about academics, but society at large, we are not all academias. Some of us are good with art, some of us are good with sport. But institution, ithi mabakhula abantwana kodwa iyabavalela ngokwe resources ukuthi mabakhule. We don't have infrastructure for sport, umzekelo. Abakwazi ukujima abantwana kodwa kuthiwa mabadlale. Once ukuthi uyodlalela national simbone efaka kwi-page yesikolo. Kodwa makufuneka uyodlala eIbika amanqindi akakwazi ukuyodlala amanqindi eIbika because kuthiwa imali ayikho esikolweni. So those things zibalekile ke speak ukuthi mazifakwe ukuthi abantwana mabanakekekele. Umntwana makakwazi ukuthi mayilimele yodlala isikolo sa take care of him. Ngaso sonke isikhathi sport masikwazi ba sisiwe phambili because it doesn't only benefit student who plays sport, but it benefits the institution at large because we are here to build an institution so that tomorrow this institution ibe ngcono ikwazi ukubekwa nezinye ezihamba phambili kwi society na kwi country. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Buyile Bangu. Honorable Amanda. Honorable Amanda.
Jabon ba ndinqona ukuthi le nto yamandla but mandiye iyamenza umuntu. Thank you very much, Speaker of Parliament. Inkokeli zithethile apha that most of them that we need to respect sport in WSU because sport unites people, unites young people. We're having most of the young people abengekho busy just because they are not interested to the sport, just because sports at WSU asikho well driven, and also the conducive for the sport in WSU is not well at all. So I want to submit to you, Speaker of Parliament, that we need stadiums in WSU because in other universities they do have stadiums. The university must provide stadiums for the sport fields of our university. Secondly, the university must make sure that they bring sponsors so that we don't rely on student levies for the students to get their clothes and whatsoever. We need enough sponsors in WSU. They must go and approach about FNP, about Capitec, and anyone who can assist. We need man WSU to assist our sports. Again, masingasho akho party beyirizwa ngumntaka Seta, Honorable Seta, I mean a city. If awudlali sport as a first student, we must not be forced to pay a sport levy fee. Masingasho akho lonto leyo. When we are applying for a WSU, there must be an option. Are you interested for sport or not? So that if I'm not interested for sport, you take and say no. Therefore, you will not be charged for a sport levy in WSU. This must be very clear going forward because I, in the sense, but we are paying a lot of money, whereas I'm not playing. That must come to an end. Also, the part of what injuries, injury once. Xa sithe wabuyela kokwabo kuthiwa isikolo singendawo if injury phinde yavuka kuthiwa isikolo singendawo, that is wrong. If injury yavuka, the university must take charge. Ikubusele esibhedlela because ulimele e-university. So this thing as well must be taken into consideration. The university must take care of you until you recover very well. I don't think you couldn't share myself because I was covered by other speakers in so many instances. Thank you very much. I speak.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I believe you are the second last one. Honorable Mangisa. I've noted you. Going to come forth.
And this Honorable Speaker. I think one, let's promote participation of women in sports that are regarded to have to be participated in by masculine people like men. You see, there's been a lot of participation in rugby and in football here in East London, and I just want to make it a point that we are vocal on the policy, the participation of women in sport that are regarded for people who are masculine, and also the sports for what's this thing? The sports for disabled students, and also the university. We have seen a lot of challenges like Kalunyaka, whereby students who are participating in sports representing the university on a national scale, whereby they do not have indawo zokuhlala. Isikolo must have a clubhouse for those instances, whereby, for instance, rugby is playing a varsity shield. Kube khona a clubhouse, because you'd find out that abantwana are being scattered around residences that are around East London. Then when times of training, in terms of ukudlala matches, they are not in one spirit and they engage in different things. And it contributes to their performance again. So the university, we must vocal on the policies that we need a clubhouse for ESO sports. It also speaks to, I remember it was 2017 and 18, the last time Dandi Bona Lendi Senzek, whereby sport ngasinye had a residence. For instance, soccer, ekade hlale amalinda Actogen residence. I do not know where that yachinja aphi yonke lento leyo. Rugby ekade hlala e Calypso as a clubhouses. So we must be vocal on that the university must have clubhouses for relevant sporting codes that are representing the university, whether on a national scale or on a regional scale.
Thank you, Honorable Mangisa. Honorable Kanya.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, no, ben phakamisa isandla because obunchawa ne. Ikhona nje isubmission lebendinayo, but ke sendi captured, partially captured by the latter speakers, mostly by President Glenn. Now, your encourage okanye your nyusa le participation ye females. Yeah, nam bendizawutsho ndithi isport like bekufana by okanye mayibe yenye yezinto ezithathelwa into consideration apha esikolweni, because ke sizonyana sikwazi uunite students izinto ezininzi like sizifuna through interactor with abantu different, the likes of lento usaz. If uselectiwe, let's say uselectiwe kwa soccer, then uzodibana net players from the other campuses, phana uzofuna lot of izinto ozazifuna for yourself and for ukuziphatha nje kwa environment. So esport ibalekile kakhulu into ba sinyuselwe ilento zana level of consideration yazo apha eWSU, and also lento ye sponsors yenye yezinto ezibaleke kakhulu, because le mali etsalwa kwilento zana kwi students is not enough iyodwa nje xa kuthiwa kuzosetyenziswa nje la mali yodwa. So isponsor, if ilento zana institution ingaphuma like iyokhangela isponsors for upromoter isports, zonke isport codes kungakhethwa isport codes ezithile like kuthiwa okay this certain amount is for only soccer and is for only this sport code, but zonke sport codes zithathwa serious because we are all playing sport regardless of udlala rugby, udlala chess, udlala zonke yabo. So yeah, my submission is that lando sponsors kakhulu mayilandelelwe because yiyo ekwaziyo unews, and even abanye abantu mhlawumbe umuntu angazibona seke ungena koMotsipe ekhula through his sport. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kanya. I believe, Honorable Kanya, you are the last one. We are now proceeding to our online comments from the audience online, which are, online comments.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. We'll only take two because a national question. Uvuyisanani abakati uthi nathi sihlala off camp, nathi sihlala off camp siyafuna uparticipate kwisport qha akho transport. Umzekelo mna okonda allocate eTuba ndaye kuhlala kufuphi necampus but ayibika ndaye kudlala irugby ngenxa yongabi na transport, cela i-transport zinkokheli. Then eyokugqibela ile ithi yeka siyabonga Pastor. I think this one is campus level. You ask recognition. Oh, okay. Oh, this one is a question. Oh, I did not see this one. Usiphe Mkhaya. Shubani, it's a question. Does WSU recognize other sporting codes or it only recognizes rugby? Because ingati every sporting code sikaphe rugby apha eWusu. Also, why i-tracksuit zinikwa abantu abathile zinganikwa everyone odlala sport? Yeah, that's the question.
I'm going to put it to the House to respond to the comments. Honorable Nombeo, Honorable Kachu.
Thanks, Speaker. I think we must respond. Ulando ongadu kabanda bakapa abanye abantu abekhampasini. Nam ndiye ndayicinga njalo, ne? But when I check, irugby idlala iVarsity Shield, ne? There's certain portion or FNB Jet CLC funders that deals with the Varsity Shield. And when you go to Ibiga, but the professional league, which is called SAB in Asamtat, you understand? It is the professional league, not like Mhlamba Kukashwa Banyabantu. In a reality, Kengugu, in as much as is sport is as scholars we too, but there's a league outside, which is the vicinity, the institution, Ekuyo. In a sense, I was asking comparison hockey ne swimming mhlawumbe uthi njanja because I professional land abadlala bayifana. Number 2, ukuba ngathi kukhatshwe rugby awuzokwazi ukuthi egcoma kubekho sports swimming ibe ingekho ulwandle or the swimming pools egcu and whatever stuff may be. Our argument must be kuba Gcuwa mhlawumbe une swimming pools, could you please focus? You understand? Monty, sasibonile rugby yenu, please groom other campuses to join le nto inokwenza. Siyazi uba ayikho yaseMonti, there must be players from Gcuwa, Mthatha and other stuff. Kungathathwa one ibe iphelele pha. Number 2, on the issue of tracksuits, masivumelana iyaxabanisa kakhulu. Ufaka sithiwa hayi zezalonyaka opheleyo ubuze bani ezalonyaka bendizibhatalele imali iphi because iriba kuyatsalwa ezimalini apha. So I'm saying it lies within abo sport office abe campuses together with coaches zezo sport codes zikhoyo, also the sport officer leye skolo general sport officer of the SRC, coach and the captains be sport codes also the office. Hence we're saying also ASCO, there's a subcommittee which is called ASCO. Also ASCO must be held governed by zippers and because in this kubuza i-track suit kubathandwa, but ubathandwa ngo-president, there's an office that is reliable for sport. Norman Codesa and other people of sport must deal with issues of sport. But in terms of ungathi ukhatshwa abanye, akho mntu ukhapha omnye, but in terms of i-league ezidlalwayo azizofana. Also mhlawumbi abanye, there's a sponsor, if I may say, eligini labadlala kuyo other than isikolo. So zohluka kanjalo. But nathi siyayibona uba isoccer nerugby kuphela engathi khona was hence upresident ecela into yokuba honorable member of the house, but even women also others might e-sport, because umzekelo i-tennis azikho, i-golf azikho, in basketball babantu babini bathatha abayidlalayo selinto edudes xa siyiteketisa laa nto, yebo. So I'm saying even our participation, because awuzokwazi ukuthi mayithathelwe ngqalelo ihockey xa ubuza abantu behockey ufanele abantu behockey abekho, but in terms of tracksuit distribution, sport officer, coaches, captain of the coach must be held accountable. Enkosi.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Kachu.
Thank you, Chair. No, I'll be short because Honorable said has answered very well. I think even that clarity, even that person is clarified. Now, I'm going to say ngokuglento. Singenza njani ke ngoku as ba we note that we all, even note pa online, we also noted ukuthi isport engathi kukhona ezithathelwa phezulu kule gap. Now ufuna ngokuthi na apho we note, because apha thina we are making submissions, we are not really that good maybe ubeka ngokwepolice i-clause. So ufuna sinote ukuthi i-clause ke ngoku eza promoter i-equality kulento kwezi sports maybe izaba njani. Now I think that it's a matter of consultation, because even none from that side, these submissions funa sizenze ngoku zibe ilendlela efita ipolicy. Think with the help ke apho so kwenziwe consultation of abo advocate here, with that help ke ngokuba singayenza njani le clause le ezenza promote equality kwezi sports zalapha ukuthi enkosi.
Thank you so much. Thank you to also our online audience as well. We are now taking a recess of 1 hour. We will resume at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. Yes, we're going to resume. Thank you, honorable members. Indeed, WUSU is led. Thank you so much to also our technical team and the leadership that has come to observe and the process. Thank you so much. Thank you.